वैष्णवमसि वैष्णवे त्वम् ॐ मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दं माधवं वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु ओम नमस्तुते व्यासविशालबुद्धिं पुरारविन्दं यतपात्रनेत्रं येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णा प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयं प्रदीपम् ॐ आकन्दमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तमेव चराचरं तत्परं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः ॐ ज्ञानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्ति पूजमूलं गुरुपरं मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरुकृपा ॐ वेदव्यास स्थानं समर्पयामि ॐ गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Principle of Vyas Bhagavan ki jai. Dhanya ho. We all take our seat and we listen to a beautiful kirtan. Devotees, I want to say a hearty swagatam, welcome here tonight at Hindu Center as we celebrate Bhagavan Shiva in the most auspicious way, where we choose to have 3 nights of Katha on the beauty of Bhagavan Shiva, on the devotion of Bhagavan Shiva, things that bhaktas did, things that devotees like you and I did, and Bhagavan recognizes them. This is what we plan this Katha around, so that you can be able to understand that sometimes you're doing something really good, but you didn't understand that it was that great. The first night, I read about Atri Muni, that great Maharishi, and his Patni, Anasuyamaya, and how much devotion. Bhagwan, the devotees could not understand whether it was for devotion or it was Atri Deo parents. No, it was difficult. And then this last night we heard a little about the 12 Jyotirlingam, which we should equip ourselves with, so that whenever we can hop in that flying bird, we can be in Kashi, enjoying the beauty of Bhagwan Shiva. But tonight we are blessed. We are blessed to have my dear son, Pandit Neil Vivek Sharma, our Vyasji for tonight. I had to think for a second that I'm really up there. No, I'm getting there with my age. And he's a young stalwart. Our Vyasji is in this material world. He's exhausted in being an accountant. No, being an accountant. This is the time that keeps them busy. But yet, with all of that, he came out tonight to leave a message with you. And Vyasji is born in this beautiful garden we call Trinidad and Tobago. No? This beautiful place where Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, you can pick it anywhere you want and offer it to Bhagavanji. No? This is the beauty of Trinidad, of Guyana, and all of these islands, because the temperature is literally around. But then he gave up that and he came here because he wanted to serve you at Hindu Center. He wanted to be a Sewak. And Panditji came from a lineage of Brahmin Pandits. His dad is here. And that gets emotional. I can't sit there and dad here. I had a few yajnas that I read, but unfortunately I lost my dad. But Panditji, you're very fortunate. The dad is here, Chacha is here. Chacha is here too, no? Bhare Chacha. Yes, his big brother is here, right? And tonight we have Panditji Prakash Sharma, we want to say our apology to you. And then we have Swami Ramanand Saraswati, no? Apology, Dada. And we're very fortunate that your foot could have come into Mandir tonight and bless us here. And we'll have you, after we listen to our Veda Vyas tonight, last night Veda Vyas, what he said last night, that when you sit there and you have the pagri on your head, you are Veda Vyas, you are reading Veda Vyas, because everything that he's going to read is what Veda Vyas instructed him to do. So tonight, without further ado, you heard enough of me, right? Without further ado, let us listen to our Vyasji. Prem to all Vyas Bhagavan ki Jai. Yeah, we'll have a brief arti and then sorry.
Gopati Mahadev ki Jai. Sab koi Jai Jai Sitaram, everyone. Sab koi Jai Jai Sitaram. Jai Sitaram. My dear devotees, for Sri Ram Kripa, the blessings of Prabhu Sri Ram, that we're able to join in satsang once again. My dear devotees, together with us here, first I want to offer my salutations to my he called me his son, and I feel so blessed to be considered by that Pandit Manoj. But I see you not just as a father figure, I see you as a guru, I see you as a bigger brother, I see you as everything like that. The way you have welcomed me and supported me and offered guidance as well. Palagi, my Pitaji, I offer my salutations to you as well as Mataji. Swamiji or Mataji, I offer my salutations, Palagi. To all of my elders here tonight, I offer my salutations to you as well, and I bow to your feet. My dear devotees, we have been listening to the nectar from Shree Shiva Maha Puran, as narrated by our esteemed Vyasji Pandit Manoj over the last 2 days. Tonight we are going again, and I'm going to attempt to squeeze a little of this nectar out for us. And as we listen to this, that little attempt, whatever little message you can take home with us tonight, let us remember that and try to inculcate it in our life as well. Devotees, as we expect, let us all prepare ourselves for invocation. So let us all clasp our hands and close our eyes. And let us also straighten our backs, straighten our spines and sit up. And before we chant the most holy mantra, Om, let us observe the breath as it enters and leaves our body. That breath represents the Puran, the divine life force that exists within us. And my dear devotees, as we inhale, fill our lungs to its capacity. And as we exhale, exhale all tensions, all problems, all difficulties, all struggles. Exhale all of it. Put it at the feet of Bhagavan. And let us immerse ourselves in the ocean of mercy. That's Sukha Sagar. My dear devotees, let us pray. Breathe in. Hold. Out. In. Hold. Out. In. Hold. Devotees maintaining this breath, let us chant the universal sound of Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hello everyone. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Call out to Prabhu, call out to your Prabhu, Bhagavan. Bolo. हमें दया करो भगवान बोलो भगवान हमें क्षमा करो हरि ओम everyone हरि Sri Ganeshaya Namaha Sri Saraswate Namaha Sri Guru Charan Kamalabhyo Namaha Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirviganam Kurum Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvam Om Gajananam Bhutaganaadisevitam Kalpita Jambho Padacharabhakshinam Umasudam Shokavinashakaram Namami Ishwara Padam Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Sansara Saram Bhujendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridayarvinde ब्रह्मा मुरारे पुरंदरारे भानु शशि भूमि गुरु शुक्र शनि राहु केतव सर्वे ग्रह शांति करो भगो जयति मंगला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा धात्री स्वाहा स्वधा रूपं देहि जयं देहि यश देहि वशो जहि सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशि सर्वे शक्ति समन्विते ॐ श्री दुर्गाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय Shree Saraswati Mata Shree Saraswati Mata Jai 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 Shri Jai उमापति महादेव की जय। श्री आदि शक्ति जगदम्बा देवी माता की जय। श्री सरस्वती देवी माता की जय। गुरु महाराज की जय। श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण स्वामी की जय। श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। सब कोई जय जय सीताराम। मानस भजे गुरु चरण भव सागर तरन। मानस भजे गुरु चरण भव सागर तरन। गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय। गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय। गुरु महाराज गुरु जय जय। सद्गुरु जय जय। साईनाथ सद्गुरु जय जय। ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः। ओंकारं बाबा ओंकारं बाबा ओम नमो बाबा ओंकारं बाबा ओंकारं बाबा ओंकारं बाबा ओम नमो बाबा। अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव ओम अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल ओंकारं बाबा ओंकारं बाबा ओम नमो बाबा ओंकारं बाबा ओंकारं बाबा ओम नमो बाबा। मानस भजे गुरु चरण भव सागर तरन। श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। भक्तजन जय Now when you see my eyes red sometimes in the morning for some moments, you know why. Bhaktajan, today is Trayudashi. Right? So we began our celebration of Shivaratri, not on Shivaratri, but a few days in advance. Because it is such a magnanimous type event, it is such a beautiful event, it's such a beautiful festival, that we decided that one day and one night was not sufficient for us. One day and one night is not sufficient for Bhagavan Shiva. Bhagavan Shiva has such a profound effect on our lives, and tonight we will try to understand a little about that. But he has such a profound effect on our life that we thought that one night alone, that is not enough to worship our Bhagavan, to worship our Bodhinath. And as such, we started not on Trayudashi, but not on Chaturdashi, but rather we start on Ekadashi, the 11th lunar day. So Ekadashi, Dwadashi yesterday, Trayudashi, and then tomorrow is from around, I think 6 to 7 a.m., it becomes Chaturdashi. Chaturdashi is a very auspicious occasion. It is the 14th lunar day of the month, and it is the basis on which we celebrate our monthly Shivaratri. So every month of the year, if you look at your Hindu calendar, you will see there's a little Shivalingam every single month. And that falls on the Chaturdashi of every month. And in the month of Palgun, which is this February-March timing, that Chaturdashi is what we call Maha Shivaratri, which is what we are celebrating all of now into tomorrow, and then culminating tomorrow night into Monday morning. My dear devotees, look at the time that we spend with Bhagavan Shiva. Why is it that we say he has such a profound effect? Goswami Sant Tulsidas Ji, in the very second verse of Shree Ramayan, during the invocation section, he tells us a little bit in simple language that we could understand. He says, Bhavani Shankaro Vande Shraddha Vishwasa Rupino. Bhavani Shankaro, so Bhavani, Durga Devi, Adi Shakti Devi Ma, Parvati Ma, whatever name you want to use, Bhavani Devi, Shankaro Vande, Shraddha or Vishwas Rupino. They are manifested through Shraddha or Vishwas. Meaning specifically through the unending, unconditional faith and trust that we have in Bhagavan. That is the manifestation through which they will appear to us. That they will influence our lives with it when there is that unconditional faith and trust. Shraddha or Vishwas. My dear devotees. But moreover, Bhagavan Shiva, he is known as Mahakal. No? Mahakal. What do we mean when we say Mahakal? There are so many interpretations of this name, but one of the ways we can view this name is the one who is the controller of time. He is the one who decides when it is time for reabsorption. Time for us, for the Atma or the Jeev that exists in me, the Jeev that exists in you, and everyone around. That spark of divinity. He decides when it is time for that Atma, that Jeev to go back to Paramatma. To make an attempt at exiting the sansara, the birth and death cycle. Birth, death, and rebirth. Exiting that sansara and going back to Paramatma. So, Bhagavan Shiva, when we look at him, he is the controller of time. He is known as Anadi or Anant. Of Vyashli last night, he told us about Anadi or Anant with the pillar of fire. When he manifested as this pillar of fire before Bhagavan Vishnu or Brahmaji, there was no beginning nor was there any end to him. And so, this is the nature of the control of time. He is beyond time itself. He is beyond the concept of beginning, middle, and end. That is a lot to internalize, you know. Our minds are so conditioned by the Maya of this world that it is difficult to think and to believe that someone, some entity, some great force exists outside of the rules of nature as we see it and as we experience it and as we understand it. But take a look at the very beautiful mantra that we always chant for Bhagavan Shiva. There is a mantra that we say almost every Sunday when we do Shivji Puja. And what we say is Karapura Gauram Karunavataram Sansara Saram Bhujagendraharam Sarada Santam Hridayarvinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Srimapati Mahadevati Jai. What are we saying in this mantra? Karapura Gauram, the one who's white like the karpur, like the campfire. Karunavataram, he's the embodiment of compassion. Sansara Saram Bhujagendraharam, he's transcendental of the sansara, and he's wearing forever the mala of the Snakes, he's the god of the snakes. Sada Vasantam Hridayaravind, he resides in the heart of his devotees. Bhavam Bhavani, always present with Bhavani Devi, Sahitam Bhavani Devi. So we speak about Bhagavan Shiva and we see him as Maha, the controller of time, Hara, the remover. We see him as Bhairava, the fearsome. We see him as Nataraj, the cosmic dancer. We see him as Bholena, the loving one, right? That is Bhagavan Shiva. But who is this Bhavani Shankaro Vande? Who is this Bhavani Devi? Bhavani Devi, Parvati Devi, is representative of the Adi Shakti. Adi meaning the universal, that which was there even before the beginning. That is the Shakti that we're referring to when we speak about Bhavani Devi. The universal energy. Who was there at the beginning, who is there now, and who even in the end, that Adi Shakti will also be there. That is, even if we look into science, we see evidence of Adi Shakti there. When we look at the Big Bang Theory, before there was this big loud explosion and spontaneous creation of matter, there was a ball of energy. Adi Shakti. And that ball of energy emitted a hum. And that hum, that sound was Om. The Omkar. Adi Shakti is that Bhavani Devi that we speak about. But let us examine further the Parivar of Bhagavan Shiva. Who is the son of Bhagavan Shiva? Sri Ganesh and Kartikeya. So look at the dynamic that is presented here. When you combine the control of time and the universal energy, so the control or mastery of time and energy, you get now the removal of obstacles, the grant of wisdom. And when you have the grant of wisdom, what comes next? Then you have the coupling of time energy giving Bhagavan Ganesh, and then it gives Riddhi or Siddhi, progress and success. And then going further down this Parivar, then you get, when you have progress and success, then you have Santoshima, Santosh or Shubh or Love. You have then contentment and happiness and wealth coming into your home. This is the Parivar of Bhagavan, but it is not just meant to be interpreted at face value of a physical foundation, but it is directing our minds where our efforts should be placed in our life. Have mastery over time and energy. Do not waste your time. Do not be a procrastinator. Do not be lazy. Do not be like in Shree Ramayan when we had our last sessions of Katha. I spoke specifically about Kumbhakaran and his laziness and what that meant and how that featured in the Katha. Let us not allow ourselves to fall into that type of group. Let us not waste away the time and the energy that Bhagavan has given us. And when we show mastery of that time and energy, we get the effects of Ganesh, wisdom. We get the effects of Riddhi or Siddhi. We get the effects of Santosh or Shubh or Love. Prem se bolo Sri Shiva Shankar Bhagavan ki Jai. Namo Mahadeva Shambho, Namo Sada Shiva, Jai Parameshwara, Jai Bhuvaneshwara, Jai Shiva Shankara. Namo Mahadeva Shambho. Namo Sada Shiva, Shiva. Devotees, the very original rendition of the Shiva Mahapuran, it was a dialogue between none other than Bhagavan Shiva himself and Brahmaji. After this first rendition of the Shiva Mahapuran, it was then passed from Brahmaji to Naradji Muni. Narayan, Narayan. Narayan, Narayan. Jai Bhagavan. Imagine being able to approach every situation, every circumstance, every meeting, every discomfort with Narayan, Narayan. Allowing that to be the default words out of our mouth. Imagine that. So this Shiva Mahapuran was between first Bhagavan Shiva and Brahmaji. Then Brahma to Naradji, and then also to Sanat Kumar. And then after Sanat Kumar, it was passed to the disciple of Sanat Kumar, which is Vedavyasi Maharishi. And Vedavyasi is the one that took the mass of the Puranic hymns, the Vedic hymns, and arranged them into the Purana, into the 4 Vedas, and then the 18 Puranas, and then the Mahabharata. That is the Vedavyasi that we keep referencing night after night. And that is when Panditji said that we are reading more from the manuscript of Vedavyasi. That is what he means. That we are reading as described by Vedavyasi in these scriptures. And attempting to narrate as he would. I don't expect that I would ever be able to narrate as he would. But attempt to. Give a little bit of the net. Prem se bolo Shree Shiva Shankar Bhagavan ki jai. Vedavyasi, he had the blessing of Bhagavan Shiva. And having this blessing, he was able to condense the Shiva Mahapuran into roughly 24,000 verses and in 7 samhitas. The 7 samhitas, I think we mentioned it on the first night, but I can't remember, but I'm repeating it for that reason. The 7 samhitas starts with the Vidyeshwar Samhita, then we have the Rudra Samhita, then the Shatarudra Samhita, the Koti Rudra Samhita, the Uma Samhita, Kailash Samhita, and then lastly the 7th is the Vayuviya Samhita. And this arrangement was then passed from Vedavyasi to Sukji Maharishi and Shukra Munindra. And many, many years later, this scripture now is being recounted at the Triveni Sangam, the confluence of those holy rivers. It is being narrated by Sukji Maharishi, the Shaunak Muni, and the saints and sages that were gathered here. It is said that out of the Shiva Mahapuran, anyone who listens to this, any katha, whether it be a verse, a half of a verse, a couple words, whatever they listen to, but if they do this while fasting well during the Chaturdashi, meaning the Shivaratri of any month, with special benefit on Mahashivratri, anyone who does that, they find mukti or salvation in their lives. My dear devotees, the Rudra Samhita specifically, as well as the Kailash Samhita, is said to be of the most beneficial. This is where the Leela of Bhagavan is described in great detail. The Rudra Samhita is said, if 3 times for 3 days in the presence of Bhairav Devata, you will get all desires fulfilled. And the Kailash Samhita, only Bhagavan Shiva is aware of the complete purport of this Samhita, but half of it is known by Vedavyasi Maharaj, and quarter of it is known by Sukji Maharishi. The entire component of the Kailash Samhita is only known by Bhagavan Shiva himself. So this is what Shiva Puran, even in the beginning, is starting to point us towards. How can you advise a devotee that the Kailash Samhita is so beneficial? But we only have access to a portion of it. If Bhagwan has the words, you know what that means, right? It doesn't mean it's not available. It means we need to go to Him. And when we go to Bhagwan Shiva Shankar, Mahadev, Bholinath, we go directly to Him. And we get His blessings, His Janan. We experience Shiva Tattva. Then we will get the understanding of the entirety of the Kailash Samhita. Devotees, in the Shiva Mahapuran, there is described, Sutji Maharishi describes to Shaunak Muni and those that were gathered there, that there is a mantra that is described in here. This mantra is called the Panchakshari mantra. We all know what Panchakshari mantra is. It is the 5-syllable mantra. It is Na, Ma, Shiva. The Panchakshari mantra. And in this Shiva Mahapuran, it is described with its power, its efficacy, and also the recommended method of incantation, the recommended methods of chanting it. And this Panchakshari mantra is the way for us to achieve the fruits of life through Shiva Mahapuran. Nama Shivaya. There's this beautiful stotra that describes Nama Shivaya. Nagendrahaya Trilochanaya Bhasmangaraya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shudhaya Digambaraya Tasmai Nakaraya Namaha Shivaya Mandakini Samela Chandana Charichitaya Nandishwara Pramatnada Maheshwaraya Madara Pushpa Bahu Pushpa Sapujitaya Tasmai Nakaraya Namaha Shivaya Shivaya Gauri Vadanabarinda Suryaya Dakshavarnashakaya Srinilakantaya Vrishabhadaya Tasmai Shivaya Namaha Shivaya Vashishta Kumbha Dharagatamaya Muni Deva Chindashekaraya Chandrakadhaishvanaralochanaya Tasmai Vakara Namaha Shivaya Vajna Swarupaya Jatadaraya Pinakahastaya Sanatanaya Divyaya Devaya Digambaraya Tasmai Akara Namaha Shivaya Om Namaha Shivaya Hari Om Namaha Shivaya Panchaksharamidam Punyam Yaha Pate Shiva Sannidho Shivokavapnute Shivena Saha Modate Prem se bolo Shri Umapati Mahadev ki Jai. Bhaktijan, so many is available within Shiva Mahapuran for our appreciation and our understanding. So much knowledge, so much gyan, so much descriptions about not just the Leela, but the method of worship, the way in which we approach, the way in which we fast. You would have seen Panditji from Mandir here, Pandit Parmeshwar. He is such a great devotee, a bhakt of Bhagavan, that way in advance of Shivaratri, he printed out a little directive sheet in English. Simple directions, how to fast, when the prayer starts, when to start your fast, when to break your fast. And a little reminder at the end of it all, come to Mandir for Abhishek. That is the value for Shree Bhakt. But all of this is from the Shiva Mahapuran. The conversation between Sutji Maharishi and the Shaunak Muni and all of the saints and sages gathered there continued forward. And a story, a little kahani or katha about an interaction between Sanat Kumar and Vedavyasji was described. And so what was described here is Vedavyasji, whilst performing his worship, he was greeted by Sanat Kumar passing. And Vedavyasji, he asked of Sanat Kumar, he said, "Hey Maharishi, hey Prabhu, I have recorded many various ways in which a human being could get all of the four objectives of life. The dharma, arth, kam, moksha. Dharma meaning righteousness, arth, the worldly wealth, kam, the desires, moksha, salvation, or mukti." He said, I have written about all of this, sticking to holy law, earning financial stability, fulfilling desires, and then attaining mukti. But after all of this, hey Maharishi, after seeing and writing all of this, I could not acquire the Janan that allows me to experience moksha. Why is that? What am I missing? The response of Sanat Kumar is so beautiful. He says, "Hey Maharishi, hey Vedavyas, why worry about that? What is he saying here? Why worry about moksha? Why worry about salvation?" He's not saying that it is not of consequence. He's not saying that it is not of value. But he is pointing towards, do your duty, and Bhagavan will finish the rest. If we as devotees, we do our duty, Bhagavan will finish the rest. Sometimes you hear me say, Bhaktajan, right? Bhakt, who is a Bhakt? You and I. A Bhakt is a devotee. What does a Bhakt give? A Bhakt gives bhakti, devotion. That is all Bhagavan entrance. That is all that we need to head towards Bhagavan. The bhakti, the devotion within our hearts and our minds, when we offer our worship, Bhagavan is understanding if that is pure. He is able to discern and appreciate the pure devotion and love from the false faces that some may want to present to Prabhu. It is almost analogous to that Katha about Mahavir Swami. Today's Saturday. So beautiful that we mentioned his name. When Mahavir Swami was sent by Sugriv to investigate who was these two young men, one dark and one light in color, approaching Rishyamukh, Mahavir Swami, he took a disguise. He took the form of a Brahman. And he went to Prabhu. Prabhu interacted with him. But only when Mahavir Swami discarded the disguise and revealed his true Vanar form, that is when Prabhu Sri Ram embraced him. It is pointing towards when we go to our Bhagavan, when we go to our Prabhu, let us go to him with all the good things and all of the flaws as well. Be truthful. And when we go to Bhagavan like this, that is when Bhagavan will lift us up and hold us. प्रेम से बोलो श्री सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. हरि ओम. जय बोला भंडारी शिवा, जय बोला continued and he explained that in all ages, in times gone past, in Satyug, in Dwapar, in Treta, people lived way longer, a lot longer. So there was a lot more time to perform sadhana, to perform penance and tapasya to Bhagavan. But now we exist in Kali Yuga and life is very short. And in Kali Yuga where life is so short, Sutji Maharishi describes a method of attaining these four fruits of life, dharma, artha, moksha. And he says that in this age of Kali Yuga, the easy way of attaining salvation is by worshipping Bhagavan as Lingeshwar, as the Shiva Lingam, by worshipping Prabhu as the Shiva Lingam. And that is an easier way of attaining salvation. And he says that the way we perform worship to the Shiva Lingam, one can have the little lingam. Sometimes you have like the Narmadeshwar Shiva Lingam, the Swayambhu Narmadeshwar Shiva Lingam. And you could have a thumb-sized one, little in your palm, in your hand. And that is how you could perform worship, with just that little Shiva Lingam. Or you could go to the mandir like we have here, and we have Stapna, this beautiful lingam in front of us. And we can perform dhyana, we can perform meditation, we could offer pushpam, phalam, toyam, a fruit, leaf, a drop of water, offer something to Bhagavan. But what qualifies, Sutji Maharishi says, the thing that qualifies it as prasadam to Prabhu is the intention that is in the mind while doing this. What is the reason, what is the motivation for worshipping Bhagavan? Are we worshipping Bhagavan because we want the lottery numbers? Or are we worshipping Bhagavan because someone told us, or Pitaji told us, and our Mataji told us? Or are we worshipping Bhagavan because we love Bhagavan? What is the motivation behind it? Think about that. Use that question as in some introspection. Because anything besides the love is incomplete. Anything without the unconditional love is incomplete. The beautiful bhajan, Sabse Uchi Prema Seva, such beautiful Leela of Bhagavan Krishna. So many different things happen simply because of the love from his devotees. He would go to the home of Vidur the beggar and eat at the home of the beggar, Bhaji, because of the pure love and devotion. But yet still he went to the home of the king Duryodhan and he wouldn't eat anything there. All the fancy mithai in there, he wouldn't partake of that. But he will go to the home of his devotee and there he will eat Bhaji. He would go to the home of Vidur again. Vidur is not home, Vidur Rani is there. And what does she do? She loves Bhagavan so much, she peels the banana and as she's handling the skin and feeling Bhagavan's skin. And Bhagavan is eating the skin and she's throwing away the banana. Vidur comes home, what are you doing? And when she realizes, she tries to switch it around. But when she offers the banana, now Bhagavan smells, my belly is now full. It is full with the pure love and devotion of the devotee. Prem se bolo Sri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Devotees, pushpam palam toyam, offer a flower, offer a fruit, a drop of water, and that is sufficient in worship. No need to be any elaborate thing, but just the flower, the fruit, and the drop of water with the right frame of mind becomes puja. It becomes as effective as an entire yajna. My dear devotees, as we continue into our Katha tonight, I want to take us a little into Shiva Maha Puran, further a little deeper into Shree Rudra Samhita. And I want to take us to the very beginning of Yuddha Kand. So let us all clasp our hands as we join in prayer. Hari Om. Shree Shiva Maha Purane Vidyam Rudra Samhitayam Panchamo Yuddha Kandoyam Pratamodhaya Uchyate. Srutamasmadhirananda Pradam Charitam Nutanam Grahastasya Ivam Shambhushta Brahmaskandadagi Satkatha Idanim Bruhi Supritya Charitam Varatmotamam Shankaro hi yatha rudro Jagahana viharam khalam. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. My dear devotees, Sri Naradji Vacha. Naradji bole, Naradji is speaking. Remember, this conversation took place in a few different settings. Shiva to Brahma, Brahma to Narad, to Sanat Kumar, to Veda Vyas, to Sudji Maharishi and Shuk Munindra, to Sukji Maharishi, to Shaunak Muni, as well as now all of the saints and sages gathered. And now between you and I. And so Naradji bole, this is being referenced in Naradji bole, Hey Brahman, हमें गणेश तथा स्कंद की सत कथा से समान्वित गृहस्थ शिव जी के आनंद प्रद उत्तम चरित्र का श्रवण किया. He continues, विहार करते हुए शिव जी ने जिस प्रकार दुष्टों का वध किया, अब आप उस श्रेष्ठ एवं उत्तम चरित्र का अत्यंत प्रेम पूर्वक वर्णन Koji. And so he's saying that we have listened a little bit to a katha about Bhagavan Shri Ganesh and Skand. Skand is another name for Shadana and Kartiki. And the katha that they had just listened to was about the destruction of Taraka or Tarakasur. When you hear Tarakasur, Tripurasur, that it is pointing towards who, the type of individual that we're referring to. So Taraka was an asura. And Taraka was destroyed by none other than Shadanan, Skand. And not just Shadanan that we think about, but the baby Shadanan, Skand. Now Taraka had some offspring. And the offspring of Taraka, they were known as Tarakaksh, Kamalaksh, or Vidyamani. And that is who we're going to hear about a little bit today from our Katha. Naradji continues, Katham dadaha bhagavan nagarani suradvesham Trinyekena cha panena yugapatkena viryavan etat sravannam shaman akshva charitam shashimalina devarshi shukadam shashvam maya viharatah prabhoha. And so Naradji is speaking again and he's saying, Parakram Shaila Bhagavan Shankar. So listen to how he describes. Parakram Shaila Bhagavan Shankar ने एक ही बाण से एक साथ दैत्यों की तीनों पूर्णों को किस प्रकार जलाया. So he says, I want you to tell me about the katha where Bhagavan Shankar, he was involved with the destruction of 3 cities by the shooting of a single arrow. And he continues, आप माया से निरंतर विहार करने वाले भगवान शंकर के इस संपूर्ण चरित्र का वर्णन कीजिए जो देवताओं तथा ऋषियों को सुख देने वाला है. And tell me about this Lord Chandrasekhar. Tell me about this Bhagavan who bestows all the comforts upon the rishis, the holy people, the munis. Tell me about that Bhagavan. So this is the request that is made to get the nectar of Shiva Mahapuran at the beginning of Yuddhakand. And the immediate response comes from Brahma Uvacha, from Brahmaji. So Brahmaji gives the response to this and he says, Evame tat pura prashto vyasena rishi sattama sanat kumara provacha tat eva kathaya yaham. So Brahmaji bole, hey Rishesh, Purvakal. So in an earlier time, right? Purvakal, notice the word Kal, Mahakal, we worship it earlier time, Purvakal, earlier time, में व्यासजी ने महर्षि सनत कुमार से यही बात पूछी थी. तब सनत कुमार जी ने उसने जैसा कहा था वही बात मैं आपसे कहा रहा हूँ. He says, earlier on, Sanat Kumar was asked a similar question by Vyasji Muni, by his disciple Vyasji Muni. And Sanat Kumar, he also answered this question. And Brahmaji is saying, I will tell you what Sanat Kumar answered. So he said, Sri Sanat Kumar Uvacha, Srinnu Vyasa Mahaprajna Charitam Shashi Malina Yatha Dadha Tripuraram Banena Ikana Vivashat Shiva Atma Jena Sandena Nihate Taraka Sure Tatpurashto Trayodaikya Paryatapyam Munishvara. Sri Mahapati Mahadev ki jai. Is Sanat Kumar bole, Hey Mahavidwan Vyasji, आप शंकर के उस चरित्र को सुनिए. So he says, listen to this katha about भगवान शंकर. जिस प्रकार विश्व का संहार करने वाले उन शिव ने एक ही बाण से त्रिपुरा को भस्म किया था. हे मुनीश्वर, शिव जी के पुत्र कार्तिकेय के द्वारा तारकासुर का वध कर दिया जाने पर उसके तीनों पुत्र दैत्य घोर तप करने लगे. So he's talking here now, and Sanat Kumar is talking about that in an earlier time, the son Taraka was killed by the son of Bhagwan Shiva, Skanda. But Taraka had 3 sons, and the 3 sons of the Taraka were known by the names of Vidyam, Tarakaksh Jyeshta, so Tarakaksh was the eldest, Vidyamani Madhyam, so Vidyamani was the middle child, and Kamalaksh Kanistha, meaning that Kamalaksh was the youngest, the smallest one out of them. And these 3 children of Taraka, when their parent was destroyed, they were not very happy about this. Losing a parent can never be an enjoyable experience. Losing a loved one is never enjoyable. Could you imagine as there is a parent? And so these 3 asuras together, they decided that they were going to perform worship, they were going to perform sadhana, they were going to perform tapasya. And who were they going to worship? They were going to worship Brahmaji. Why were they going to worship him? Because they wanted to get a boon from Brahmaji. Why did they want the boon from Brahmaji? because in their mind they were angry, they were filled with sorrow at the destruction of Taraka, and as such they wanted to bring some sort of discomfort to the Devtas. And so these three brothers, it is said that they controlled all of their senses, and they got themselves so in such a divine disposition in preparation for this step, that they were able to control all their senses. They were able to give up anything at will. They were able to fulfill any task that was asked of them. They had divine energy within them. Even the Asura, Tarakasur, Vidyamali and Kamalat, Asuras, were being described as divine in their nature, in their practice. And this was all with the intention of gaining the blessing of Brahmaji. And so, it is said that all of them, they discarded all of their comforts and they ascended Mount Sumeru to perform tapas. And when they went up to Mount Sumeru, it is said, तीनों दैत्य संपूर्ण मनोहर भोगों को त्याग कर मेरु की गुफा में जाकर अत्यंत अद्भुत तप करने लगे. So they gave up all the food and all of the nice drinks, etc. And they went up to Mount Sumeru to perform tapas to Brahmaji. And they discerned all luxuries, all desires, and they approached this tapas with joy. They did not approach it with just out of obligation, but rather they approached this thing, they were happy to perform this tapas. They were happy because they knew and understood what they were doing, and they were also happy with what the outcome was expected to be in the future. And so it is described as Evam dukham param prapta दुराग्रह परमे इत्रिक्ते संस्थिता दिवारत्रम अतंद्रिता. They said, वे 1000 वर्ष. So for 1000 years, they performed tapas standing on their hands. 1000 years they performed penance by standing on their hands. And then for a subsequent 100 years, they continued this tapas with now their hands in the air. You can imagine, I don't know if this is a thing unique to Trinidad, but in primary school, when you want to get the children's attention, the teachers come into the classroom and said, hands up, and everyone has to put their hands up, out, up, out, up, and when everybody quiet and you have their attention, then they say down. And when they want to give a little punishment, you know what they used to do? Hands up, and they leave you there to take a little chill out. I didn't get it so much in school, but I used to get it a little bit when I was home. Jai Bhagwan, that is another Katha. So, could you imagine, think about as a child, the punishment of raising your hands. If you had to leave it up for 5 minutes, your hands wouldn't sing, right? Could you imagine 10 minutes now? Or half hour, or 1 day, or a year? 100 years. That is what is being described. 100 years with the hands in the air. That is how tapas was performed. Very severe tapas. And so, and it is described even with the adharmic intention. What is adharmic about their intention? The motivation for doing the worship now is being referenced here. The motivation for the prayer. Is the motivation for the prayer love? The motivation for the prayer is to gain power. And with the power, then you will do as you please. So let us think about that for a little bit. What is the motivation when we come to the Shiva Lingam on Mahashivratri? What is our motivation in our minds when we offer worship to Bhagavan? And that is an introspective question, not meant for an answer aloud. But that is a question for us to ask ourselves, to examine inside. Shree Brahma Uvacha Prasanosmi Mahadaitya Yushamakham Tapasamune Sarvadashyami Yushmabhyam Varam Bhutaya Dipsitam. So Brahma ji bole, Hey Mahadaitya. So Brahma ji now, after observing all of this tapas that is taking place, he appears before these three asuras. And he calls them, Hey Mahadaitya, Maha Asura. And he says, I am pleased with your worship. And he continues, he refers to them again, Hey Devasturo, meaning enemies of the Devas. And that is how he's referring to them. I am pleased with your tapas. Please tell me what you want as a boon. Tell me what you would like from this world. Jai Bhagavan. The very first thing that comes out of the three asuras is we would like to get immortality. Bhagavan, we want to get immortality. We do not want to be affected by old age and death. And we want more than that, they say, Bhagavan, we only want to be able to cause death to others. So you listen to the motivation, right? This is what they want. I want to be immortal, not to be affected by health problems and time and all of these things. But I want to maintain the ability to effect this on other people. So Brahmaji responds now, he says, yes, when we are coming into this world, everything that has a beginning must have an end, right? Whatever has a start, when we come into this world, one day to come, we will all close our eyes. That is the way of this world. That is how Bhagavan created it. That is how it was intended to be sustained. And that is the way that it will be reabsorbed by Bhagavan Shiva in the end as well. There is nothing that can come and remain here indefinitely. That is simply impossible. So ask, I advise you, please ask for something else. So the Daityo, the Asuras, they now decide, we want to ask, okay, if we cannot be immortal, they ask, give us 3 places to reside. Anywhere we go, we are attacked, we are chased out, etc. Give us 3 places of sanctuary that are impregnable, that are indestructible, that is not accessible by the Devatas. Give us 3 kingdoms like that for us to live in. Brahmaji again responds and he says that even the inanimate objects cannot have an indefinite lifespan. There must be a way that it finds an end. And so these asuras now, they're thinking, you know what they decided? We offer worship to Bholenath. We offer worship to the Lingam. Bhagavan Shiva is considered to be our friend. And if Bhagavan Shiva is our friend, he will never find quarrel with us. As such, Acharya Brahmaji create for us, and they started to describe one city which is made of gold, another that is made of silver, another that is made of iron, and make these cities impregnable to everything, except for it can be destroyed by a single arrow from the bow, the pinak of Bhagwan Bodhinath, Bhagwan Shiva. Brahmaji meditating upon Shiva Shankar Mahaprabhu, meditating upon him in his mind, he says, as you wish, so be it. Just as you wish for this city, so be it. Prem se bolo Sri Umapati Mahadev ki jai. Namo Mahadeva Shambho, Namo Sada Shiva. These three cities were constructed by Mayasura, the architect of the Asuras. And once completed, so beautiful these cities were described. Inlaid in the walls and the pillars were gold streams, silver streams, jewels, all sorts of beautiful things. Its halls filled with luxuries, filled with wealth. Three beautiful cities were constructed by Mayasura. And then the three brothers, they inhabited one each in these cities. My dear devotees, what occurred next is these brothers, they continued their religious worship to Bhagavan Shankar. But also being Asuras, and given that these three cities were impregnable by the Devatas, it became a safe haven. And a safe haven, who do you think wants to hide from Devatas and Bhagwan? Jai Bhagwan. So all of the Asuras and all of the negative forces and the negative entities, they started gravitating towards these cities because it was a safe haven for them. Seeing what was happening here, the Devatas, they went to Brahmaji and said, "Hey Brahmaji, look at what is happening here. This is becoming a challenge. Can you do something about this? Can you stop this? Can you destroy these cities? Look at the gathering of Asuras, and we can do nothing to protect ourselves against the havoc they are wreaking." Brahmaji says, "I am bound by my words. I am bound by the very boon that I granted, the very promise that I made." I love the reference to this little few words. Prana jai, vachana na jai. It's better the life force leaves than the vachana, the promise that you make. Is better than that word. It's better the life force leave than a promises book. Beautiful, beautiful words. Prem se bolo Shri Umapati Mahadev ki jai. So Brahmaji said, "I am unable to relieve anything here. But go and speak to Shankar, to Bholenath Shankar." And so that group, they went across to Bhagwan Shiva Shankar. And there on their way to Bhagwan Shankar, to Shiva, Namo Mahadeva Shambho, Namo Sada Shiva, they approached Shankar Bholenath. But Bhagwan Shankar, when hearing their predicament and hearing their problem, he said that the lord of each of these cities, the rulers of each of the cities, they continue to be pious individuals. They continue to practice righteousness and dharma in their life. So I cannot affect them. And he goes on and he starts describing. He says in our scriptures, the composers of the Shastras have spelled out remedies for severe crimes. Crimes such as Brahmhatya, bringing harm to a Brahman. There are remedies for the paps like drinking wine. Remedies for the pap of theft. For even desecrating a vrat. But what he identifies in the script in Shiva Mahapuran, he says, what is not given is a remedy for the person who betrays a friend. Amit. There is no remedy for that person. The person who betrays a friend. So let us appreciate what he's saying here. How can I bring harm? Though I might be terrible, I'm Rudra. And Bhairava. I cannot bring harm to my friends. So long as they continue to live a dharmic life, I cannot harm them. I cannot touch them. Prem se bolo Shri Umapati Mahadev ki jai. What happens? My dear devotees, over time, Tripura, the three cities, Tripurasur, pointing towards who lives in the three cities. Panditji told us about the power of association earlier on. What happens when we associate for prolonged periods with all of these asuras? Though Kamalaksh, Vidyamali, and Tarakaksh were practicing dharma in their whatever way that is being interpreted here, their association with all of these other asuras that were seeking the safe haven, They slowly became intoxicated by the power, by the strength, by the protection that was given to them in these three cities. And they too descended into corruption. And having been corrupted by association with all of these other asuras, Bhagwan Bholinath, he can now act to save his devotees. Jai Shiva Shankar, 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 Hare Narayana, Hare Narayana, Hare Narayana, Hare Bhagwan Shiva, as he saw the suffering of the devatas and he sought to protect them, it is said that he mounted his Vahan. And as these three cities began to align in the stratosphere, as these three cities came into alignment, he raised Pinaka and he strung one bow, the twang of the bow. It is said it shook the cities as they started to align with each other in the sky. And as these three cities became in alignment, he released a single arrow from his bow and destroyed Tripurasura. Prem se bolo Shri Shiva Shankar Bhagavan ki Jai, Shri Umapati Mahadev ki Jai. My dear devotees, destroying these three cities known as Tripurasura, one might question, but weren't these the devotees of yourself, Bhagavan? But look between the lines, my dear devotees. Look at the message Bhagavan is giving here. He absorbed, he accepted all of the devotion that Tripura had for them. The three brothers, the three asuras. He accepted all of the devotion. While they were devoted to him, he did not do anything to harm them. When they strayed from the path of divinity, he destroyed them. But what happens to a person who meets their end at the hand of Bhagavan Bholinath? What happens to the person who sees Bhagavan last before they close their eyes? Think about that. Even in their destruction of Tripurasura, even there was mukti or salvation offered by Bhagavan to his devotees. He relieved the suffering of the devatas, and at the same time, he relieved the suffering of the sansar, the cycle of birth and death and rebirth. When Brahmaji was speaking to them, Brahmaji was referring to them as the enemies of the devatas. Bhagavan Shiv referred to them as his friends, the mitra, his mitra. Look at the difference in approach here. Bhagavan Shiva recognized the devotion, and the minute they strayed from that devotion, he stopped it. He stopped the adharmic behavior. He stopped the adharmic activities. One could even go a little further and look at a different angle at the same Katha. Look at the original intention, the original purpose that drove the creation of Tripurasura. The original intention was one of negativity, one to bring harm and destruction to the devatas. So, though anything that happened thereafter, if the intention is impure, the very action and the results of that action also becomes impure. And that is where Bhagavan is pointing to us. When we come today to worship to Prabhu, and we offer a prayer, we offer the pushpam, the palam, the toyam upon the Shivalingam, be pure with the intention in our minds. Come fasting. Come with a pure mind, a pure heart, and go to Bhagwan as you are. Speak to Prabhu as he's your friend. And when you speak to Bhagwan, show him the love and affection that you have for him. And tell him, Bhagwan, these are the great things that you have blessed me with. And also tell him, Bhagwan, these are the things I struggle with. Bhagwan, this is the problem that I have. This is the thing, even if it's something wrong with me. Be honest with Bhagwan. And when we develop that type of relationship with Prabhu, that is the beginning of Mukti. That is the beginning of with Bhagwan Shiva, the attainment of Shiva Tattva. Prem se bolo Shri Mahapati Mahadev ki jai. Bhaktajan, this brings us to the end of a little Katha for tonight. A little bit from Shiva Mahapuran. Before we continue any further, I would like to, at this point, pause to ask our dear Swamiji that is with us, Swami Ramananda Saraswati. He is based out of the Shivananda Seva Ashram in Calgary, headquartered in Rishikesh, and he has graced us with his presence tonight. So it is only fitting for us to get a little bit of his darshan and his blessing. So
Shiva